Right now at 5, when the clock strikes midnight, a curfew goes into effect in the city of Miami. Tonight, the growing concerns for businesses.
Vaccination plan. Broward County, one of the 2 leading the state in getting the most vulnerable vaccinated against coronavirus. We explain how it works.
CBS 4 News exclusive. Dogs disappear from their yard only to end up in a very dirty situation. See the creativity it took to rescue them from a septic tank.
Plus, it's the growing worry with children, obesity due to lifestyle changes in the pandemic. Important information for parents and children. Thank you for joining us. I'm Carly Barnett in for Lauren Pastrana.
And I'm Elliot Rodriguez. CBS 4 News at 5 starts right now.
This is CBS 4 News at 5.
The cases are surging, and it's a concern that if we don't take some kind of control here, we could have a hard closure like we had in the past.
Right now at 5, a curfew will begin at midnight for the city of Miami as cases of COVID-19 spike again in South Florida.
The city says now is the time to take action, so Miami police officers are going door to door, educating business owners about the rules and the possible consequences for violators.
CBS 4's Peter Dench has why Police Chief George Kalina says this is a necessary step to avoid another shutdown.
Miami police are leading the drive right now to CBS 4 News.
All new at 5, big plans are announced for how the vaccine will be distributed to long-term care facilities in Broward County. Broward, one of 2 Florida counties selected for a pilot program aimed at vaccinating those who need constant care.
The plan announced this afternoon involves the Department of Health in Broward, the National Guard, and paramedics all coming together to distribute the vaccine as soon as possible.
The Florida Department of Health in Pinellas County to participate in a pilot project.
The FDA is expected to approve Pfizer's coronavirus vaccine for emergency use after an advisory panel voted to endorse the drug.
The development means the vaccine could be administered to healthcare workers and nursing home residents across the U.S. within days. CBS 4's Chris Martinez has a report from Los Angeles.
The FDA has informed Pfizer.
As the battle over a stimulus relief package stalls in Congress, concern is growing for people in danger of being evicted. The CDC has put a temporary hold on all evictions to protect public health and prevent the spread of COVID-19. That order expires December 31st. If it's not extended, 30 to 40 million Americans could lose their homes. We have a closer look at what that means for here in South Florida tonight on CBS 4 News at 7. But now, all new at 5, the war of words between Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and whistleblower Rebecca Jones is intensifying tonight. During a roundtable event, DeSantis addressed questions regarding the search of Jones's home on Monday.
She was fired because she wasn't doing a good job. There was none of the stuff that she said was ever proven. You'd think that would be the end of it. Obviously, she's got issues.
But when a reporter referred to that search as a raid, the governor lashed out.
I knew there was an investigation. I didn't know what they were going to. It's not a raid. I mean, with all due respect, what you just said is editorializing. Excuse me. No, excuse me. I'm not going to let you get away with it. These people did their jobs. They've been smeared as the Gestapo for doing their jobs. They did a search warrant. Why did they do a search warrant on the house? Because her IP address was linked to the felony.
State authorities are investigating whether Jones accessed a government emergency messaging system without authorization. Jones denies these allegations. She accused Florida officials of wanting her to manipulate data on the Department of Health dashboard. She was fired back in May and runs her own coronavirus dashboard. Now, speaking of the heat, something else that's heating up we're noticing today are our temperatures after a chilly couple of days, but in time for the weekend, it seems to be warming back up.
I kind of like the cool temps. Craig?
Just a little tiny bit of heat there.
Craig, thank you. Now to the latest in the presidential transition. President-elect Joe Biden formally introduced several new cabinet nominees, including some familiar faces from his time as vice president. Meanwhile, President Donald Trump is hopeful the Supreme Court will hear a lawsuit meant to block votes in several states that Biden won. CBS 4's Natalie Brand is in Wilmington, Delaware, with more.
Fresh off their selection in Brand, CBS News, Wilmington, Delaware.
Wisconsin is one of the 4 battleground states targeted by that Texas case. This morning, a judge rejected the Trump campaign's challenge to its election results and reaffirmed President-elect Biden as its winner by more than 20,000 votes. Congressman Mario Diaz-Balart signed into a brief supporting the Texas challenge. He said in a statement there were valid questions about whether there were constitutional violations by several states, and the lawsuits intend to clarify the validity of the claims. The Trump administration carried out the 9th federal execution of the year last night. 40-year-old Brandon Bernard had been sentenced to death for his role in 2 murders when he was 18 years old. It was the first federal execution during a lame duck presidency in 130 years. 4 more are scheduled before President-elect Biden takes office, one of them tonight. You can look for much more on the presidential transition tonight on the CBS Evening News with Norah O'Donnell. That's at 6:30, right after CBS 4 News at 6.
Still to come, lost dogs are found stuck in a septic tank. What it took to save them from the mess. A CBS 4 News exclusive report is ahead at 5:30.
And it could be months before you're able to get your hands on Clorox wipes, why the company says there is a major shortage despite making more wipes than ever before. It could still be months before you find Clorox wipes on store shelves without a problem. A top company executive says retail shelves will not be stocked with the wipes until mid-2021. The COO of Clorox says they are producing more wipes than ever, but demand remains incredibly high. It's the 3rd time this year the company has pushed back the time frame for easing nationwide shortages. Well, for the first time ever, Petco will offer same-day delivery of pet supplies to its customers nationwide. The company is partnering with DoorDash. Petco says there won't be a delivery fee as long as the order is more than $35. The retailer has also revamped its website and its app. Orders placed before 2 p.m. local time would be eligible for same-day service. All new at 5:30, 2 dogs that escaped from their yard in West Miami-Dade had quite the adventure, you could say. They fell into a septic tank filled with raw sewage. This happened back in November, and getting them out took a lot of MacGyver-like moves.
I'll say, if you love animals, this is very disturbing. Yeah. Today, the rescuer and pet parent finally met. CBS 4's Ted Scouten has the exclusive story.
Holy moly! Getting back to the coronavirus pandemic, the host of Face the Nation, Margaret Brennan, joins us now. So, Margaret, an FDA panel voted for the COVID vaccine to receive that emergency authorization. So, how soon could we see the first doses of the vaccine actually be administered?
Well, as soon as that formal green light is given, which the FDA still has not handed off. But what we know from the Health and Human Services Secretary, Alex Azar, who will be our guest on Sunday, is that the administration expects to see shots being administered by about Tuesday, this coming Tuesday. So what we think is that green light by the FDA could happen within the next 24 hours. Then the vaccine gets loaded onto planes and distributed all across this country, at which point the federal government hands off to the states. And it's the governors who will really be responsible for making sure that it is distributed to their constituents.
And we look now to the presidential transition. The Electoral College casts votes Monday. Will this put an end to the president's claims of election fraud?
It likely won't end his claims, but it will firmly close the door on any real option that the president has to try to find a pathway to overturn the election and the democratic process. What we know is that the Electoral College, all 538 electors, are scheduled to meet Monday. And what they do, which is constitutionally required, is to cast votes that are meant to reflect how their states voted back in November when all of us voted. And we know during that process that Joe Biden held the popular vote. He had more votes. He also had 270 electoral votes to clinch the presidency. President Trump never reached that number. So we expect on Monday for the Electoral College to certify things, which is usually a formality. But for Senate Republicans, they've set that as the benchmark date on which they will recognize Joe Biden as the president-elect. That doesn't mean President Trump will stop what is a PR campaign or other litigation strategies.
Margaret, as always, we thank you for your time this evening and for your insight. We appreciate it.
All right, coming up on CBS 4 News at 5:30, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris make history again. The honor they just received that has never happened before. The story is trending. We have it, and it's next.
Plus, Harrison Ford brings back a famous on-screen character for the 5th time. Plus this.
I'm Lisa Petrillo. Live theater has come back.
Time to check out what's trending now, and Time Magazine has named its Person of the Year.
But really, it's 2 people of the year, President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris. This is the first time the magazine has named 2 people as a joint Person of the Year. It's also the first time a vice president has been named a Person of the Year. They beat out other contenders like President Donald Trump and Dr. Anthony Fauci.
Harrison Ford is returning to the big screen as Indiana Jones for the 5th time. The 78-year-old actor is reprising his iconic role in July 2022. That's 41 years after the first installment, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Ford said he's setting just as ambitious goals for the new Indiana Jones movie as he did for the first one.
And the former Captain America is the new Buzz Lightyear. Yeah, Chris Evans will be taking on the role of the beloved Space Ranger in a whole new way. Buzz Lightyear will still be an animated cartoon character, but he will look and sound, of course, a lot like Chris Evans. That's because this Buzz Lightyear movie is about the original, who then inspired the toy feature in the Toy Story movies. Tim Allen voiced Buzz Lightyear in all 4 of the movies, which wrapped up the series about Woody and the crew in the last release. The animated prequel, titled Lightyear, is set for a June 2022 premiere.
Boy, that's a nice makeover for Buzz Lightyear.
I know, that'll be interesting to see.
Look like Chris Evans. Pretty good going. There are always great videos and stories to see online. Check out more of what's trending on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and cbsmiami.com/webextra.
Now to a CBS 4 health alert. The stress and life changes during the pandemic has led many of us to pack on the pounds. The American Academy of Pediatrics is raising concerns about children's nutrition and physical activity during this time. CBS 4's Naomi Ruckham has more on what parents need to know.
The Adair family is adapting to many changes. CBS News.
Like adults, children and adolescents with obesity are at increased risk of severe COVID-19 disease. Well, if you are binge watching your favorite TV show because of the pandemic, Disney wants to help by making it a little more enjoyable with friends. Disney Plus has come out with a new feature called Group Watch. It lets up to 7 people watch together in what they call a synced playback experience. So basically, you all decide what you want to watch, and then one person sends out an invite, and the show will play simultaneously for everyone, whether it's on your TV, your phone, or your computer. And you can even share reactions in real time. The service now has more than 86,000 accounts.
Through January 3rd. For ticket information, go to miaminewdrama.org or our website at cbsmiami.com, and we'll link you there. I'm Lisa Petrillo, CBS 4 News.
Wow, love the creativity coming
really
up with
clever idea, and I like how it gets so many different things involved. You get restaurants involved, you get the actors involved, so.
And we have great weather lately, and Lincoln Road is a great location for
Absolutely, that doesn't hurt.
That's it. That's CBS 4 News at 5:30.
And here's what's next on CBS 4 News at 6. The city of Miami is just hours away from the reinstatement of a nightly curfew. Many local businesses will be impacted, and we speak with one business owner.
The grandmother of a father of 5 shot at a Fort Lauderdale bus terminal is talking about the family's loss as police get a new clue in the search for the shooter.
And a holiday season treat for some local students. They spent the day shopping with a cop. CBS 4 News at 6 starts right now.
This is CBS 4 News at 6.
Off the top at 6, there is growing concern here over the surge in COVID cases as Miami police officers going door to door to inform business owners that the curfew in the city is back and that curfew will be enforced. Good evening, everyone. I'm Elliot Rodriguez.
And I'm Carly Barnett in for Lauren Pastrana. The midnight to 6 a.m. curfew goes into effect tonight until further notice.
CBS 4's Peter Dent spoke to Miami's top cop who told him violators will be cited and fined.
Miami police are leading the drive right now to educate CBS 4 News.
Miami Mayor Francis Suarez addressed the curfew that will take effect tonight in his city.
I have not been a big fan of the curfew because I don't feel that if someone's doing something irresponsibly at 11:30, it's no different than if they're doing it at 12:05. and I haven't seen any indication that a curfew actually brings down the cases when you have 33 other cities in the county that have had a curfew and the cases have still been rising. But nevertheless, I support the commission's decision, and we will be enforcing the curfew as of tonight.
The mayor also says that they are nowhere close to the danger zone of cases that were seen over the summer. New details tonight in the shooting death of a young father of 5 at a bus terminal in Fort Lauderdale back in October. A new clue has police searching for a young couple. CBS 4's Joan Murray spoke with the grandmother of the victim.
It's been nearly 2 months since a man was gunned down here.
More to come on CBS 4 News at 6. Shop with a Cop. Officers in the city of Opa-locka make it an early holiday for a group of kids, and you get to go along.
And there are dozens of new firefighters in South Florida. We show you what was a very special day for them. That and more right after the break. Well, after 33 years on the force, one of Miami-Dade police officer was sent off to retirement in style. Yolanda Everett was treated to a drive-by celebration with her fellow officers at the courthouse, even receiving flowers and presents from those driving by. She spent the last 25 years at the courthouse.
I love all the people here, and I'm just going to miss everyone. It's been a great journey. It's been a wonderful department. We have the best department in the world, Miami-Dade. So I'm just grateful, and I just thank God that he allowed me to retire in good health.
Officer Everett also says, though it's a bittersweet moment, she is ready for the next chapter in her life. More proof tonight on how South Florida is coming together during the pandemic. Feeding South Florida got a much-needed donation today. The nonprofit has been a lifesaver for many people, but with the possibility that the food bank could run out of food due to a lack of federal funding, they are now in need of donations. And today, Wells Fargo answered the call as part of a nationwide campaign. It donated $50,000. That will provide 450,000 meals.
Everyone has been so generous. That's what we're hopeful, is that this gift will inspire others to match it, to give. Right now we have a $175,000 match campaign, so every dollar donated turns into $2, which will be able to provide 18 meals.
Feeding South Florida says they need $5 million a week in order to keep up with the demand.